Eric, I kind of want you to put the game back on behind you so that I can casually watch it while you talk.
We'll think about it.
And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock. It is Sunday, January 22nd. I am Josh Engleman. I am joined by Eric Lindquist. We are brought to you by No House Advantage. We got a 4-game DraftKings slate here. The FanDuel main slate locked an hour ago. They do have a turbo slate or whatever the hell they call their late stuff going on if you want to follow along there. But this is going to be a DraftKings primary show, although we are going to touch quite a bit on No House Advantage during the middle part of this one. Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Eric, how's it going, man? How's your weekend?
Doing good. Just watched a little football here this afternoon. Pretty wild outcome there to see Cincinnati just hand it to Buffalo. You didn't watch any football yesterday. That was a good decision. Wish I had not watched any of the football as well. But I got to play golf with Jordan Klein on Friday. I don't know how anybody beats a golf experience with one Jordan Klein out in the abyss. Like it was a lovely time was had by all.
I'm sure you could have gone about, I don't know, doing anything else and had a better time. I've hung out with Jordan Klein before. It's not that interesting.
Wow. We're coming in hot. 2 minutes in. Cut the cord, Jordan. Cut the cord.
It's fun. It's fun. We're going to have more than enough time to break down whatever the hell we want to break down. I didn't even think about it before. We should have just did all 4 games.
Well, yeah.
Like nobody's talked about, well, like, you know, normally we do NBA. I didn't think about it. We normally do NBA Live Before Lock. It's a little bit more free form. We're talking individual positions, but we haven't had an actual like deeper dive like lead in. Do we want to hit each game?
Sure. If you want to do it, it's on the left side of the bar. I see that from Jordan Klein there. So why don't we? Let's go game by game.
As well. Yeah, let's dive in. And we could do it, you know, more of an abridged version. We can get our like main thoughts in, try to get it done with like a half hour, you know, Perfect. 15 minutes to go, something like that. And then we could take some questions if we need to.
Love it.
All righty. Let's kick it off first and foremost with the Oklahoma City Thunder, 5-point dogs in Denver, 238 total. This one will be interesting to talk about. The Oklahoma City side of this one is relatively simple. It's the same thing that we generally see. It's a team that has 4 guys and then they've got 27 other guys. And you never know which one of those other 27 guys are going to be the ones that jump off for the day. No real ownership coming into the OKC side either. You know, in and around 15% for Shea, Giddey, Dort. We're seeing Kenrich Williams get a little bit of love. Jalen Williams without BY getting a little bit of love. But just not a lot of ownership coming into Oklahoma City at all. I actually thought I was going to get there this morning. I'm not really now. Do you like the Thunder today?
I like pieces of the Thunders. Primarily the 2 pieces of the Thunder I think you like pretty much every single day. SGA, Giddey for me kind of being the primary 2.
Pause. Jokic out.
Seriously? Well, good timing. We haven't even gotten there yet. So
yeah, we'll break that down in a second.
Yeah.
But since chat's going to just overly repeat themselves for the next 5 minutes, letting us know what I'm saying, Jokic out. And I guess we're still waiting on the rest of the news. But anyway, back to the Thunder.
Yeah, back to the Thunder. So Nikola Jokic out. I was assuming that there were going to be some pieces from Denver that sat. When Michael Porter Jr. was out for a personal reason, felt like you could see some dominoes fall where they just kind of sat out some dudes. Well, Jokic would be the most important there on that side. OKC, hopefully you guys were able to bet that. I wish I had fired on that side of it. I did like the over before that news, but SGA, Josh Giddey, both of those guys, we're starting to see an inflated tag on Josh Giddey, but if he's an improved shooter, I think this is something you and I talked about on the Live Before Lock recently too, but the guy shot over 50% from the floor for like 5 consecutive games. He does a lot of other things from a fantasy perspective really, really well. The usage is still north of 20%, pretty much routinely, has been all season long, but now the ball's going in the basket as well. He's a good rebounder for a guard. He's somebody who can distribute and kind of get fantasy points in different ways, along with SGA kind of doing the same thing. They kind of defer to each other quite a bit, can both create for themselves and other people. They're really the only 2 guys from OKC I have any interest in. And now we have unlimited funding. So I don't really see myself getting to any of the cheapies on the side for a team that has enough bodies where they can just sling them out there. And we have so many undermanned spots.
Yeah, on my first run with OKC, I had a little bit of Dort and basically no SGA, no Giddy, and no Jalen Williams. I don't know if that's going to change now, since I guess we'll see the line probably move a little bit. Probably not enough to be actionable for DFS purposes. But if I can get to any one of those four main guys, I'm fine with it. Probably won't be trying to go after that Kenrich Williams ownership. I think there's just going to be enough value elsewhere. Let's just get to Denver now, which is obviously the most important part of what we're about to do. Now that we know Jokic is out, we don't have the rest of the news yet. So it is still sort of hard to want to talk about these guys, but because we're still waiting on a Q tag from Jamal Murray, the Q tag from Bones Highland, a Q tag from Chanchar. We already know that Michael Porter Jr. is out and Nikola Jokic is out. So I guess we start with $3,700 Zeke Naji on a slate where we also have some pay down center from Phoenix, whether that's going to be Bismack Biyombo or Jock Landale or both. I mean, both guys they're in like the top 10 in ownership. So we're going to get now Zeke Naji and DeAndre Jordan. We have four legitimate sub 4K centers that are going to be at least mildly in play in some way.
Yeah, not mildly, like very much in play. Zeke Naji, 3,700. I like him probably a little bit. It depends, because I'm just kind of changing some things here right now. I'm still going to get to more of the Biyombo side of it. I think that's kind of where the field's going to land. But 3,700, it's just not all that appealing for me to necessarily go there. For me, it's just really highlighting Bruce Brown Jr., Aaron Gordon. Those are kind of your primary two that we know are going to be playing basketball tonight. So no matter what, those are two guys I feel pretty clear-cut in saying you should just have a lot of. Shooting guard, small forward for Bruce Brown. We talked a little bit earlier about how, oh my God, Aaron Gordon's ownership at 6,400. Well, now it's warranted. And now, again, the data team knew some things, it would seem. And Aaron Gordon going to be one of the more popular plays on the slate, respectively here. Zeke Naji, DeAndre Jordan, we saw 26 minutes there for Zeke Naji, 18 for DeAndre. I'm not sure how far we need to go there. If Zeke Naji sparked like a random upside game, be kind of surprising considering he's a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy, does play a lot of his minutes absent Jokic, but I guess everybody's in play if there's no Jamal Murray now too.
Yeah, this becomes super interesting. So in the situations where, even just assuming that Jamal Murray is in, when Jamal Murray, KCP, and Aaron Gordon have started games with Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic off, Bones Highland has a 33.5% usage rate in 280 minutes so far. But we don't know if he's in. We don't know if Jamal Murray's in. I already loved Jamal Murray with everybody in prior to this. It's only going to look incrementally better at this point if he stays in. And if he happens to be out and we get to Bones Highland is going to become one of the best plays that you can get to, just because he's going to soak up infinite ownership.
Yeah.
And infinite usage.
Yeah, infinite ownership, infinite usage, 4K, multi-positional eligibility. We're both playing DK today. You're just going to play. I can't imagine that I would have any lineups if Jamal Murray sits now too, where I don't have Bones Highland in them. Like I
didn't like Bones before this either, and now this is just tricky. And we probably won't get anything for the next 20 minutes or so on these guys. Yeah, if I had to guess,
I can't even theorize what the starting lineup would be because there's still massive moving part with Jamal.
Oh man. So what else do you want to do with the rest of Denver? So let's just assume that it's Murray, KCP, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, Zeke Naji. That's my expectation for what we're getting. Assuming everybody is in. I love Murray already. Aaron Gordon is the highest owned guy on the slate. Going to be hard to say that he doesn't look really good. Bruce Brown is going from, being projected for, let's say, 24 minutes to 30 or more immediately. Looks good. Zeke Naji is at the very least a good, like a solid pay down center option if he's going to be starting. Do you see anything else you want to get to here?
Not really. I'm going through a lot of the rates. No Jokic, Porter Jr. on the floor. Everything you said about Bones Highland. He's a 1.28 DraftKings points per minute guy. Jamal Murray, 1.16. It's going to be pretty clear cut to those guys. Aaron Gordon, over a fantasy point per minute guy as well. I think Vlatko Kansar. How do you even say the last name here? Konchar. Thank you. I always look at it and my brain does like a flip. That's for sure. But I think he's probably the guy that if he ends up in, he's also got the questionable tag. I could see a spot where he plays 28, 30 minutes, and just because he has small forward, power forward eligibility, just a different spot to be paying down to the min for. I think that one goes slept on a little bit. We do have Jeff Green back in the mix. He can play some minutes there, 3,100 as well. I think really anybody who has a pulse is going to be somewhat in play in that front court. So just because Zeke Naji is 3,700 in the most inflated tag, I say that in quotes because he's 3,700, like he's still cheap. But Jeff Green and Concha are kind of the two that might be very, very low owned that you could take some shots on, and wouldn't be surprised if they just saw an abundance of minutes here.
I don't know what's going to happen with this news. I just kind of want to get it at this point. I'm going to avoid making any other further changes for right now until we get to that 7:30 mark. Let's hit on Michael McKinney's super chat. He said 5 favorite FanDuel cash game plays. Playing cash on the FanDuel turbo slate here. That's fine. As I look at our ownership projections from our last run, which was 39 minutes ago, the 4 highest owned guys on FanDuel would have been Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, Ben Simmons, Josh Hart. Based on the prices that I see, $9,600 Kyrie Irving is 5th in ownership. To me, he's probably going to have to be there. You also get point guard, shooting guard, so you get a little bit of extra flexibility. We could be stepping into some more sort of like obvious play from the Denver side as well. We'll see how that ownership sort of shakes out, but I don't think you can go really wrong with anybody that I've named.
Yeah, no, I would almost list 4 Denver players pending what happens with this news. So put a pin in that, because I don't want to give you somebody that's like a lock and then you find out that we have a bunch of guys at the min that become in play, or just depending what that starting lineup is, which could go a number of different directions with the news still waiting. Aaron Gordon, cash lock. Bones highlight if he plays cash lock. And then, I mean, Precious, it's hard to imagine a scenario where I wouldn't get to him on FanDuel at 4,900 with power forward center eligibility. Probably wouldn't be saying Saban Lee today for you. So I will say that probably is off the table, even though he's pulling quite a bit of ownership. Just looking pretty much at the backcourt from Denver.
I read off all of the wrong bullshit too. I went to the night slate and not the express slate.
I had to pull up FanDuel to begin with. So I
whatever the hell I was just saying was not a real thing. I don't even know if we have that ownership. All FanDuel slates. Maybe that'll help me.
Hopefully.
Why don't I just look at my own damn stuff? I can't figure out where that slate's ownership is right now. Charles, it's an express slate, and the best contest you can get into right now has $200 going to the top of it. FanDuel went off 2 hours ago.
FanDuel went off 20
or an
minutes ago.
hour and 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Kyrie, Bruce Brown, Simons, Biombo's 4,300. Aaron Gordon is now going to be in your cash games. Those are some of the answers for FanDuel.
Same.
Charles, what do you mean late lock? It's 6 o'clock. There's 4 games left. The slate started. I don't care about a slate that already started. I can't provide context to something that's already running. That's impossible.
I can tell you play Denver. How about that? If you have lineups and things that need changing, Nikola Jokic isn't playing basketball. Probably the most fantasy relevant player. What?
Take Jokic out of your lineups if you play on FanDuel, I guess.
That's another helpful tip for the people. Well done.
Yeah.
Pivot to
we
LeBron.
barely talk about FanDuel when they start at the same time. All right, let's talk a little bit about Memphis. 9-point favorites in Phoenix, 232 out. Yeah, take MPJ out too. T McBee, there you go. Memphis just big favorites here in Phoenix. Phoenix is walking wounded, not very good. Memphis is at full strength, and they just don't play their starters enough for me to be like really interested. But I'm happy to get any piece of the starters, whether that's Morant, Bane, Brooks, Jackson, Adams. If you want to take a shot on like a $4,300 Brandon Clark today, if you think Adams is going to, I don't know, not play as much, by all means, do something like that today to get a little different. What stands out most to you from the Grizz?
John Morant by a mile. John Morant 9,600. This is a tag that started to really come down, and they've been in some strange scenarios, I would say, with John Morant. I don't know. Desmond Bane being healthy is definitely cutting into it. Dylan Brooks has Uh, he's the thorn in my side with this basketball team. And Jaren Jackson Jr. has been phenomenal on the course of this crazy winning streak that was just broken against the Lakers. But John Morant, 9,600. Anytime you're getting him sub 10K, that's a guy that I'm just going to be getting to a lot. Now, we have to talk about all the value that's down there at the 3K level. So everybody combined with that is going to naturally push up all these studs. I haven't necessarily prioritized any of them because it's going to kind of depend on what the positions are. But as it is right now, in terms of pure projection, LeBron James is the guy I've highest, Damian Lillard as well. But then SGA at 9,700, John Morant at 9,600. I might be able to just even get a small upgrade to like a 4K guy in some of these like very, very injury riddled situations. Phoenix on the other side has a number of pieces that it's difficult to know what to do with them with Chris Paul back. It just kind of depends on what those minutes end up looking like. But I feel very, very comfortable getting to as much John Morant as you would want to, considering he's under 20% on a 4-game slate.
I would never have a single issue getting to any more John Morant. We also got news that Gary Payton will play, which is news, but not news that really matters all that much.
It matters to Gary Payton.
Yeah, that's true. Before we get to Phoenix, we got to talk about no house advantage quickly because I want to get this out there so that people have enough time. We have 43 minutes to go until lock. No house advantage is running their 10K NBA slam dunk 5K to first. It is 20% filled right now. This is going to overlay for sure on a Sunday night with NFL games on, 8 o'clock start. There's going to be heavy overlay here. Click the link in the description of this video. Head over and make yourself a deposit. My recommendation is to put in 100 if you can. They will match that deposit with another $100. I would be trying to max enter or put in as many entries as I can into this contest because of the overlay. You have a really, really good shot at 5K for first place today. You're picking player props, so over-unders, and you can go to stokastic.com right now and get over-under percentages for every one of the props that exist. So you can sift through that really quickly to build out the lineups you want. Or you can go to our No House Advantage optimal lineups page and just take the work that we've already done for you and get them into this contest. It's the best thing that you're going to find in the industry today. Even now, it's up to 28% filled. Don't sleep on this contest today. At a minimum, you're getting reduced rake. My expectation is that you get literal overlay. It's the best day that you're going to be able to do this because of the NFL. Bismack Biyombo season today, huh?
Oh my God. What? It's just one of those things where if you had told me Bismack Biyombo put up 42 and played 30 minutes and he's still going to be at 3,300, the next day you would just expect his ownership to be like 75%. And he's like sub 40% right now in our ownership. I'm not sure if that kind of holds true. It is a back-to-back, which kind of concerns me a little bit, where it's something I touched on a little bit before we started the show. He played 16, 17 minutes in his last 2 starts. Now, you get Chris Paul back in the mix here, and Bismack Biyombo played well yesterday, and there's an opportunity for a lot of different guys. Cameron Johnson has a pulse now once more, too. I don't know what to necessarily do other than just play a ton of him if he's going to be under 40%. If we get to lock, he's like 65, 70%, I'll really, really be kicking myself. But assuming he's the starter, there's no reason not to be playing a ton of him.
Yeah, I had him in like 90-something% of my lineups before we got started here. Maybe some of the Denver news will allow me to get a little bit less there and move up somewhere else, but I assume that he's going to be in 80% plus of my lineups. I'll have a bit of Jock Landale. I prefer to have Biyombo over Landale just because of the salary. With Biyombo at 3,300 and Landale at 3,100, it's really easy to just swap to Landale if something weird happens and they flip-flop those guys for some reason. I don't have much interest in Chris Paul. That one seems crazy to me. Do we want to talk about Saban Lee getting 20-something% ownership?
It's weird. I will not be doing that for sure. You get Chris Paul back. What are we doing here, people? Like, Chris Paul is going to play 27, 28 minutes, and Saban Lee is no longer a thing. I know people want him to be a thing going forward here, but there's just going to be spots where Denver starters are going to play 35, 38 minutes. Like, we're going to get the possibility of having like a Bones Highland. Like I would rather have 100% Bones Highland and 0% Saban Lee on every slate from now until eternity under these circumstances. So like, there's just no way that Saban Lee is going to show up for me.
Do you know how many minutes Aaron Gordon has played with Nikola Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. both off the floor this year?
Yeah, because I looked at it earlier today, 104.
Oh, I have it as a lower number than that.
Oh, let me find it here. I literally
I have it at 47.
That. 47. I mean, that's really a low number. That's the key. I have 104 minutes with them on Wowie.
Wow, weird.
No,
either way,
no Porter.
That's not a lot of minutes.
No, it's not. So it's a very small sample size, but like Aaron Gordon, I would assume is better than a fantasy point per minute player in these circumstances. So like whatever your assumption is, he's still a dude who's going to show up an eternal amount for you at 6,400.
Yeah, and the real key here is Jokic off, because Michael Porter Jr. is not necessarily the guy that's going to be driving like my curiosity. I got it at 143 with just Jokic off.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you're seeing for the Suns that you want to touch on? Like, I'm always interested in Mikal Bridges because he's going to be out there forever. I just don't think Cam Johnson's going to be out there enough. I'm shocked that his price is 5,200. Honestly, I don't have a ton here. I want to get to the centers more than anything.
Yeah, it's pretty center specific. I think the one important thing, I'll break down the rest of it here in a second, but like, I think the very important thing, I would definitely have a group today where you don't have Biyombo and Landale in the same lineup. I think there's enough 3K players as I'm just kind of going through my lineups, especially depending on what we got Conchar is available to play. I didn't see the rest of the news come through, but
Bones available, Jamal Murray available. So now we can just let it rip.
Okay, good. At least we got clarity really, really early. Should be easy to kind of piece it together there. Yep. Not as much value as I was maybe thinking we could have. There's still a ton of it. There's no Nikola Jokic. There's no Michael Porter Jr. But like, I thought we could be looking at 36, 38 minutes from random scrubs, perhaps, but maybe not that value laden. Bismack Biyombo and Landale, maybe they're a little bit more interesting. Maybe I won't necessarily put that group together here yet, just because you're sharing center minutes. I don't think it's going to be a spot where Landale's just not playing that regular 17, 20 minutes that he would be playing, regardless of how Bismack Biyombo is doing. So maybe it's an all right thing to do now at this point, now that we got clarity Jamal Murray is in.
Yeah, my only concern with Phoenix is just how many minutes are they willing to let Saric play at center today? Because they did go to like 1 or 2 yesterday, and they have done it in the past. That is sort of my only real concern.
I think with 8 minutes now, the last 2 in starts for Saric, like he's a glorified. He's kind of doing the PJ Tucker thing right now, just playing the beginning of quarters. It would seem like that seems to be the trend here of late.
And when I say that I'm concerned with Saric's minutes at center if you're thinking about playing Biyombo and Landale together.
Got it. That makes
sense. Because the more that he plays together, the worse having those two guys together is. For either one of them individually, I don't really give too many shits.
Right, because you're kind of just trying to find that upside. I do think, I mean, we've had a 35%, 17% for Landale. Knowing what we know and what we saw yesterday, I still find it hard to believe that I'm not going to get to just an eternal amount of Biyombo. I'd be surprised when we get to lock if I had like any noticeable amount of Landale.
Man, I am going to have so much Jamal Murray. It's insane.
Yep. Jamal Murray. I'm going to get a lot of Bones Highland too. A lot of Aaron Gordon. Like this entire Denver team is just everywhere.
But let's have that conversation about Bones then, because I'm not entirely sure how much he plays today. Like I don't know if this news, if any of this news has really changed his like normal outlook. Like I think he's going to play more than the 9 minutes that he played on Friday for sure. But I have him in for 20 right now. I'd have a hard time giving him too much more than that. And I'm not like short on minutes here for this team either.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 1.3 DraftKings points per minute guy, though, without Jokic and Porter Jr. So at 4K,
he's a great play.
Yeah. What?
But it's weird to me to think that he's showing up as such a great play at a relatively limited minutes outlook in a game that he's not going to start.
Yeah, I suppose, but like also if the finger's okay, we have him in for what, 21 minutes here at the moment.
Yeah.
My thing is that when he comes in, if you expect him to be over a fantasy point per minute guy, which I do, that automatically puts like his low floor at like 20. Like you're looking 20. So 26. I mean, he might come in overowned like that. There's a very strong possibility. You're gonna have to start weighing opportunity costs as we get lower to or closer to lock on who really we can't live without. I can't live without Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown Jr. Like those two are showing up in absolutely everything that I do. Jamal Murray at 6,800. I'm going to probably, as I update things, because I actually took him out a second ago. Oh, good. I have him for 43 fantasy points. I'm going to have like a ton of Jamal Murray too. Like, do you want to have 4 or 5 Denver players in every single lineup? Bones does feel like the guy who's going to go under-owned as we get closer now. Like I do get that feeling that he's going to be drastically lower owned. He won't be in the starting lineup. We're assuming that. I think it's just going to be Gordon Brown Jr., Murray that end up 60, 70% owned. Yeah. And everybody else you might get a little bit lower than you think.
Yeah, I'm just loving this team. I already like I said, I already had a ton of Jamal before this. It's going to be even more aggressive now. And shout out to whatever the name of the guy was on Friday that was telling me that Murray was a giant fade and you shouldn't play him. And I was just like, I think that's a terrible idea. And then he went out and triple doubled for the first time in his career.
You've had some ridiculous calls on shows with me of late. The Darius Garland one, I know Donovan Mitchell got hurt in the second half, but like, Garland was smashing that game anyway. Like
it worked out well.
Yeah, no, that was a good one for you. That was a bad one for me. I was on the Mitchell side, but no, I it's funny.
I was happy with that one.
I'm just curious how much people in YouTube chat are looking at basketball numbers the same way that you do, or that I would do on a daily basis, where it's like at a certain point, maybe don't just make shit up.
Like, I don't mind if somebody's like, I'm not really feeling Jamal Murray tonight, but to be like,
fade.
he's a fade at that obvious projection, that obvious, like, the salary, like a general projection. Like, projections aren't new anymore. Like, we all kind of know what these guys are going to be projected for. He was unequivocally like a very interesting play on Friday. Weird. It's weird.
Baldy in the up. I played Okogie last night at 0.4%. I ended up on some Okogie because I didn't have any opportunity to do anything else but play him. We had every Sixer get ruled out, and I was trying to get to as much Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris as I could on stuff. And as a result, I ended up having to punt with him. It was weird to have Okogie be the best part of that. That was a wild game.
Josh Okogie, man.
Should have played McConnell. What a screw up. TJ McConnell was like the smash play of all smash plays. He actually started for the first time yesterday. And
did he really?
Oh, yeah. He started and he put up a bajillion fantasy points.
I'm surprised he didn't bust because he started.
Yeah, you would think just because he's sharing some of that usage, some of the stats with starters. But no, he played a lot. He played really well. I think he might have triple doubled.
Ace of Spade hit us with a super chat. Dame or LeBron in DK tiers?
LeBron not close for me.
Yeah, I've got LeBron by 3 fantasy points in that one, so that would be LeBron. Let's hit the rest of these games. Brooklyn, Golden State. And I think we can move pretty quick because I don't think the rest of this is all that interesting. Brooklyn 7.5 point dogs in Golden State, 236 total. Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving are both about 20% owned. Nick Claxton's at around 15. I know I'm getting quite a bit, or at least I was getting quite a bit more of Kyrie Irving. He's playing like 38 minutes a game, taking on everything. Tough spot for him against Golden State because they could really focus on him, but he is the guy that I like most from Brooklyn. What do you see for the Nets?
You said Kyrie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If you guys feel a trend coming on, it's basically just paying up for studs and getting to some of the flat guys. Like Kyrie Irving really stands out for me as well. He goes in that bucket of players that are just from that 9,500 to 10-5 kind of guard guys that you can kind of interchange, mix and match. Kyrie's just another one of them going up against Golden State. They're 7-point dogs. If it's competitive, you got to imagine Kyrie Irving goes completely nuts here. Claxton up to 7,400. I'm not all that enthusiastic about it. Every other Brooklyn Nets player has started to see the prices start to trail back down where they can start to get a little bit more interesting. But I don't think this is the spot today with all the Denver news.
Now I just don't know what to do with Denver. I've got DeAndre Jordan projected better than Zeke Naji on the bench.
I do too. He's just a better fantasy point per minute guy. And you have to use a little bit of logic where, like, if Zeke Naji just automatically plays a lot more minutes, sweet. But like, I have 306 minutes for Zeke Naji without Jokic, without Porter. He's still just 0.76. He's still going to be the fourth, fifth option on the floor no matter what. Like, he's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy.
I feel like I need to be willing to play 4 Nuggets today.
I'm definitely playing 4 Nuggets. I will say, there's a part of me, people don't want to click Conchar. He's in. They like this guy. He's played more minutes at random times. Well, he'll play 29, 30 minutes in random spots. You can just go through. I was at the Clippers game where he went berserk. 27 minutes, 24% usage. Jordan, were you at that game with me? Was that the Jokic game we went to together? No, we went to the Suns, didn't we? I can't hear you at all. You're not helpful. But I think Conchar is a guy at flat 3K. He's at 10% now. I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm going to get to a little bit of him.
He grades out well enough for me. The only problem really is that he's like a 0.75 to 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy. But he has the opportunity to play a couple extra minutes today if he needs to. I got him in for 20.
Yeah, I could see it just randomly spiking. 10% might be a little bit rich for my blood. I was expecting to refresh the page and see like 4. Less enthusiastic at 10%.
Let's head over to Golden State because I think they are interesting because they're pulling no ownership here against Brooklyn, which is kind of surprising to me. 15% going to Draymond, 13% going to Wiggins. I have the starting 5 of Poole, Curry, Draymond, Clay, and Wiggins, all like sort of under-owned. Maybe I don't say the same for Draymond since he's getting the ownership, but I'm surprised. Even at 8K for Poole, I know he's not the same guy when playing alongside Steph. I think Golden State's getting slept on a bit today.
I'm getting a ton of Klay Thompson. That's the guy that keeps showing up for me. He's now got so shooting guard, small forward, 7,200, sub 7% for a guy that I understand his profile. He's a hot hand guy, but it's a 4-game slate. And if you're trying to hit upside, why not hit upside with one of the best 3-point shooters on the planet who has looked progressively better as the months have gone by, is coming off of a rest day. He hasn't played since the 19th. I feel really good about him. I think he's just going to get his normal allotment of minutes here. 6.8% for him. I see Wiggins, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, all of those guys pulling more ownership. It's kind of steering me towards Clay. Just it's a positionality that works out well for me.
We got Zeke Naji in the starting lineup. Suns starting lineup is going to be Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, Torrey Craig, Johnson, and Biyombo.
Okay. So
Cam Johnson starting, I'm assuming like 24 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think he's still got the bubble wrap on him. And DK just hates to bring down the price on him. He's still 5,200. He had 22 minutes with crazy usage. He can be a good 3-point shooter when healthy. That was his profile at your UNC. But Cameron Johnson, 5,200, not going to be in play for me.
Not my UNC.
I thought you were a UNC fan.
No, I'm a Duke fan.
Oh, I love you. I knew we were.
If I'm anything, I'm a Duke fan. I'm a nothing fan now, but I am a Duke fan if I'm supporting anything in college sports.
Oh, I could support Shire. Come on now.
I just don't like watch it or care anymore. That's really my issue.
That's fair.
You want to say technically I'm a UNCW Seahawks fan.
Michael Olowokandi.
No,
that was specific. Who's the
specific.
Big guy? Who's the 7'6" guy that went to UNC Wilmington?
He went to UNC Asheville.
See, I was so close getting him. He's smart. Asheville's a way nicer place.
It depends what you want to do.
I want to go hang out in the woods and just do nothing else. Just go to Vanderbilt.
I love Asheville. Wilmington's pretty chill too. Beach vibes instead of the woods vibes. They're two very distinctly different places. Wilmington's getting a little. Which one? Asheville or Wilmington?
The Wilmington.
As the crow flies, yes. In a car, no. Like if I had a helicopter, I could be there really quickly. And I know that sounds stupid. I don't mean because I'm flying,
it makes
but
sense.
Like there's no road for me to take. I have to drive all the way up through the state of North Carolina and then hook back around and come down through the Outer Banks. If I could just drive north to them, I would get there hours beforehand.
If I didn't live in California, I would probably live in North Carolina. Your state has like a lot of personality.
and a bajillion golf courses.
That's so sweet. Pinehurst all day, every day.
Eagle Point is basically my backyard.
So nice.
Let's finish off this last game. We're already 24 minutes away from lock. Hit that like button. We're only at 115. No reason that we can't run that number up a little bit further. We got to talk Lakers and we got to talk Portland Trailblazers next. But before I do that, I probably have at least one more thing that I'm supposed to talk about before we get out of here. And I don't want to miss anything here. So let's talk about what you guys should do to get behind our paywall. And it's simple. Wow, Mike Muscala is starting for OKC.
I just saw that. I've been waiting for this. Why would it have to happen today? Like my 3-point sniper. Come on. Why would
I don't think it matters.
I'm going to get to a little bit. Flat 3K again. Just max out.
I don't know how many minutes to give him.
That's why you play him, though. A lot of people aren't going to play him.
Okay, we're going to talk about Mike Muscala in a second.
Okay.
You guys can get everything behind our paywall. If you've never signed up with us before, 5 days free if you click the link in the description. That gets you our projections, our ownership, the boom bust tool, our player compare tool, which is going to be like all of your 1v1 and 2v2 type questions, and our lineup generator, brand new tool. We generate thousands and thousands of lineups, and then we throw all the ones that we think suck directly into the garbage. We only provide you with the ones that we think grade out well, and that allows you to just sort through them and pick and choose whatever you want. You can swap out players if you want, up to 20 lineups to export. It's a fantastic tool, guys. Check it out. 5 days free. Should we even project Mike Muscala any different than we normally do? That's the real question.
Yeah, so I was literally just doing that. So he averages 14.2 minutes per game. In his starts, he's played 17, 23, 24, roughly, just shy of 22 minutes, averaging that all out. But for me, it's just like a minutes upside thing. The news came out late. We're 22 minutes away. He's a dart throw kind of guy on a slate where I thought we were going to get even more, but a lot of our value now is sitting in that mid-range where it's Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I don't feel that great about like the Zeke Najee. The Conchar thing is just a pure, like, I thought the ownership would be really low. It's not. Might even be inclined, but like otherwise at the Stone Min, you're looking at Bismack Biyombo. Like he's going to be eternally popular. And if anything happens to him, you probably want Landale to a certain extent, but playing two centers on DK, I don't have to like weigh the opportunity cost all that much. I just want to get to a little bit of Mike Muscala, somebody who goes out and does have 3-point upside. He'll just go out and chuck. He's got in one start this year, 10 3-point attempts, and another one, 10 3-point attempts. Like he's just going to go out and shoot. He doesn't have to deal with Jokic defense. It's a game still with a high total, regardless of Jokic being out here. Nothing's really changed there. I'm just going to get to a little bit as a dart throw.
I'm going to ask you a question, and unfortunately, I mean what I'm about to say.
Oh, no.
But it's a real question. Okay. Who's a better play today? Ignoring ownership, Mike Muscala or DeAndre Jordan?
DeAndre Jordan.
How dumb does it make you feel to say that out loud? I agree with you.
I have 22. I just put DeAndre Jordan. I have 21.9 fantasy points for DeAndre Jordan. I have Mike Muscala at 19.
Yeah. Man, that feels so weird. Chat's going to have a field day with that one.
That's all right. I have one of I'm only playing 15 lineups today, just to throw it out there, but I've got DeAndre Jordan in just one of them.
I'm about to run what I hope is my final crunch. So I will have an idea of what I'm doing in a little bit. Gotta disable my rules first before I start this crunch. This is shaping up to be a really weird slate. The center value, like getting center right, is going to be everything. And there's just so many sub 4K guys that you can play at this point. It's not fun. You want to break down this final game? Lakers, Portland. I think this one's probably the easiest game to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Same guys that are normally out for LA are out. LeBron's like 20% owned, and then no one else is like north of 5, basically. Are you going to get to anything from the Lakers?
What is happening right now with Thomas Bryant's minutes? Like what has happened since that Denver game? What?
They're gone.
Other than that, it's just very frustrating because it kind of disappeared. And he's a guy that I always have to kind of like manually adjust what I'm looking at for him, because if you just go on his like season rates, it's like, oh, I'm getting a ton of Thomas Bryant. And I was before the show started. And I don't want a ton of Thomas Bryant when you start to see the minutes trail off like this. But you look at the other side of the floor with Nurkic, and it just makes sense. Why wouldn't you have Thomas Bryant out there as opposed to playing LeBron at center and doing all the things that they've been doing? Wenyen Gabriel is a dude in the world playing minutes now too. It's just strange to me. But if the ownership's going to be 5% on a 4-game slate, I still think, concerning as a 1.13 fantasy point per minute guy, maybe this is the spot where you just want to buy back in a little bit, like just even ever so slightly. He's down to 5,100. This is a guy that we were paying, right around upper sixes for and happy to do it at times. As soon as that price hit a high point, his minutes just plummeted and trailed off. And I don't know what to completely make of it, but I'm willing to dice roll a couple of shares. Otherwise, it's just primarily LeBron, nothing else for me.
So I think I am nervous, and I do think that there is some upside to Thomas Bryant's minutes. I don't know how I can prioritize him today at 5,100, given what we have out there today. But I don't really think that they're going to go back up. I think that they're pretty happy getting a more stretchy version of this team. So you're playing Thomas Bryant like your standard rotations where, you get him playing against other centers. You're running that Wenyen Gabriel rotation on the opposite side. And then if they're in a competitive game, they're going to close with LeBron at the 5 and try to get a little bit more floor spacing out there and hope that they can get it done that way. I think that that's their plan when they don't have Anthony Davis.
But they're like gearing towards shooting without having shooters. Like Troy Brown Jr. is a 35% shooter from 3. Max Christie's the best 3-point shooter at 42%. A guy who's, played 27, 29 minutes in random spots, but like, it's just a hot hand approach kind of a dude. It's a little weird to me, but obviously they're just trying to hold down the fort until they get AD back. The West is down, especially at the tail end of it there. Just for me, it's like at 5,100 for Thomas Bryant, if we're going to play a lot of these mid-range guys and we're going to be spending our money, if I randomly run into 25, 26 minutes for him, he could annihilate 5,100. I'm not saying it's super likely, but at 5% for him, I got to be willing to try it a little bit.
So I have my previous crunch. The only thing that I made a change for what's running right now was the bump up to Mike Muscala, which isn't going to change anything majorly, but I do have what I currently have as my exposures right now. And pretty aggressive stand on 4 guys, 3 of which play for the Denver Nuggets. That would be Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Bruce Brown. And then Bismack Biyombo's in 3/4 of what I'm doing. So
same.
And the next 2 guys that I have are 10K Kyrie and 10-1 Dame Lillard. So it's not stopping me from paying up. I basically don't have LeBron, which scares the shit out of me. That is not a thing that I love right now. But
I would want some LeBron in my life.
He's someone I never get.
Really?
It's
Even
really
on
weird.
A 4-gamer with value.
I just never get him.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I think it has something to do with his standard deviation for me. I could be wrong, but that is sort of what I see as the potential issue, I guess. Sunflower hit us with a super chat. Damian Lillard and Royce O'Neal, or Kyrie and Jalen Williams. Seems like the perfect opportunity to pull that bad boy up on the player compare tool.
Yeah, I'm really not getting to Jalen Williams in any way, shape, or form. I don't love Royce O'Neal, but like let me just make sure I check this out myself.
I assume Royce I'm not going to have any Jalen Williams or Royce O'Neal.
Yeah. So. The second part of both of those are like unplayable to me.
Let's see. For Jalen Williams, I have 4%. For Royce O'Neal, I have 2%. I have 50% of Kyrie and Dame. I have a little bit more Kyrie. We have it at 52% Dame, Royce O'Neal. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
Jalen Williams is a little bit more optimal than Royce O'Neal, but we have Dame significantly more optimal than Kyrie. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have Kyrie projected better than we do. I have Kyrie Irving projected basically the same as Dame. I got them separated by 1/10 of a point. We have that gap as like 3 points. So based on the site stuff, it would be the Dame Royce O'Neal side.
Dude, the Klay Thompson thing is out of control. If he's going to be this low owned, I'm just going to get to a ton.
Of Klay?
Klay. Yeah, I don't like it, but
I have a ton right now.
Oh, you do?
It helps.
Okay.
A ton relative to his current ownership.
Yeah,
we have him
28%
projected for 7.
Yeah,
I have 21. I have 21.
Yeah, I've got 28. It's a pretty large stand. 25. I'm just going to cap him because I don't know anything else to do on this. I don't want to run it again.
Now, this may change when I export this crunch, but I don't think that it's going to matter all that much. And the rules that I have set up today, like no Bryant, Wenyon Gabriel, no Nurk Eubanks, Adams Clark, Najee and Jordan, Biyombo Landale. It's weird. Like there's so much value in some of those center spots that instead of having Biyombo and Landale, like just turn Landale into DeAndre Jordan. Like give me one of one team and one of the other, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Close out with Portland, because I know we haven't touched on them yet. They're basically the easiest team to talk about on this slate. You can play 5.5 guys. It's the starters and Drew Eubanks. Whatever you want to do with Drew Eubanks, he's going to look like DeAndre Jordan and Jock Landale and the 100 other centers that are 3K or whatever today. I've got a bunch of Portland starters. The guy that I'm getting to the most as of right now is Dame. I'm totally cool with that. The guy that I'm taking the biggest stand on is Anthony Simons. I'm also very cool with that, but this is just a spot in a pace-up matchup against a bad Lakers defense where I'm happy to get any part of the Portland starters because they don't do anything weird.
Yeah, Lakers are third in pace, 101.9 possessions per 48. Makes all the sense in all the land to be playing guys against them, especially when you're starting to see some of the pricing adjustment where Dame and Josh Hart has started trailing up a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more Josh Hart, I think, than what it would seem. 5,100 for him. I got to trim that down even a little bit more. But as of right now, I'm glad that you're on board with Anthony Simons. That's just a guy that, even though he's at 6,500, and even though if you go box score watching, whatever, he's playing 36, 37 minutes here in competitive spots. Like this is a dude who's going to run into that spiked upside game. He's pulling just 10.6% ownership. I've got him just a little bit north of that. So I'm happy that you're on board with that. I'm not sure that Gary Payton II really does anything to that. I know he's been out for a couple of them. I took 2 minutes away from him. I've still got Simons for 33 minutes. I think that's good enough to be rolling the dice on a hot shooting game.
Got a bunch of super chats right now. Kyrie or SGA straight up on DraftKings. That's Kyrie. I don't think it's close either.
Pull it up here.
He's going to play. Both. He's going to play 2 or 3 minutes more than SGA.
Yep, I have a little bit more Kyrie.
I just think he's a better option. Then we got DK, single entry, Ja or SGA. I have those guys as basically neutral plays, at least relative to their projection. I have a slight amount more of Ja, but not by much. Wow, I have so much Bruce Brown.
Yep, I have nearly 100. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be okay with whatever I have right now and get those lineups in. We're going to hit the next super chat that came in. This is from JR, so thank you for that super chat. Simmons or Bruce Brown, FanDuel cash, last man in. I mean, it's got to be Bruce Brown, right?
By a landslide.
I don't have any idea what his price tag is, but I just have to assume that it's good.
No Jokic, that'll make it look good if it were 6K, 7K. Like he'd still be all right.
I have a nice upload here to make. Feeling pretty good about where we're at. I hope nothing crazy happens in the next couple minutes. I don't need that in my life right now. It's been an easy show so far with 11 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm going to upload. Let me just sort this. Yeah, 73 Bismack. That's the final number. It's 11 of 15. Let's go.
I have 90% Bruce Brown, 85% Jamal Murray, 81% Aaron Gordon. Just out of curiosity, what is the break? I bet I don't have all 3 of them in a lot, and that's going to make me kind of happy, but we'll see. I have all 3.
Do you break it down on purpose?
No,
okay.
I have no control over it.
Naturally happening.
I have all 3 of them in 56% of my lineups. I have 2 of those 3 in 44. That works for me.
Final question, Bones Highland. How much did you get there?
I have 17% Bones Highland. It came down pretty aggressively.
Undercutting. I was going to say I ended up with just 3 of 15. So yeah, 20%.
He's my biggest fade right now based on our ownership. I don't feel great about that. It's just sort of, I stopped getting to Bones Highland because I'm getting to 64% Kyrie and 36% Dame. Like I I'm able to spend down elsewhere that I don't have to get to Bones. I don't like that at all, though. That scares the hell out of me.
I think you made a good point, though, where if he's going to still just play his normal role, or if he's not completely right with this finger thing, there's enough downside there that if he's going to be in half the lineups, I'm okay being under that.
Ooh, apparently Pollard broke his leg.
Shit. That's so sad.
Feel bad for my dad. Cowboys fan.
Just
man, I'm really surprised I don't have like a different representation of Denver here. I thought that was going to happen. I basically didn't get to Zeke Najee. I didn't get to DeAndre Jordan.
My God, Clark or Bryant. Bryant by a landslide, but please don't spam the chat. Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably Clark for me, honestly.
Brandon Clark, really?
Yeah. If I had to guess, let me see it. I have 4% Brandon Clark at no ownership. Thomas Bryant is 5,100. I have 5% Thomas Bryant. Basically the same to me. I mean, Brandon Clark's $800 cheaper.
Yeah, he's trimmed into. I mean, if you look at the Adams thing, I mean, they're not sharing the floor there.
I can't believe. So who else do I have at center? I just cast a giant wide net. 79% Biyombo, and then I just have like 8% of every other guy.
Yep, I've got him. LeBron James, you can play at center now. I'm aggressively over. You said you were not getting there. I have him in 46.7. I don't know what that is. It's one short of half.
7%,
so 7 to 15. Look at me. Oh, boy. Well, we're on different sides of that one then.
I got to one share of Mike Muscala. That I don't like. That scares the hell out of me.
I would want more than 1 out of 100 of Mike Muscala for sure.
Portland is just like this wild thing where it's 25 to 30% of everybody.
Did you get any Josh Hart in your life?
27.
Yeah, he's kind of the guy that I can't get rid of. He's whatever.
Let's see. Any other news coming in? Anthony Lamb not playing tonight. Probably doesn't matter all that much for Golden State since they got everybody back. You just give a couple extra minutes to Kuminga, JaMychal Green. I don't know if Iggy is available or not today, but I don't think that Anthony Lamb being in or out makes a difference. TJ Warren is available to play, though.
Iggy, can't you see?
I'm a little surprised that I don't have a better distribution of the Denver Nuggets, but I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm at just 12, 15. Yeah, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown Jr., Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I mean, they're just showing up. Yeah. I'm at 4-15 Bones Highland. I'm going to just keep that. That's cool. Chill
Can't
stuff.
say I blame you.
Yep, whatever.
6 minutes to go before to lock, folks. Hit that like button. 830. Thank you to the 830 people that are here watching this one on an NFL Sunday. Playoff games going on out there, but we've got a good slate today. This should be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching some basketball tonight. It should be fun. I hope we watch Klay Thompson knock down 15 threes is kind of what I'm hoping for. I don't like that as much anymore. Once I ran my new crunch, I have a lot less Klay. I only have 12% Klay, not the 20 something that I was looking at. Okay. Well, never mind. I ended up with a lot of Klay. Just compared to the field, obviously.
Maybe he didn't break his leg, apparently.
Oh.
I'm going to make over-under go away for the final 5 minutes of this because I don't enjoy his presence in chat, and not reading it for the next 5 minutes will mean the show's over. That seems reasonable, right?
Yeah,
good timing.
No, that's chill. We've got some. You've got some authority. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm ready to sit down. I'm not going to go watch this football game. I'm going to sit down and watch some NBA.
Me too. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm probably going to watch the end of the football game. I'm not going to lie to the people, but I'll have the NBA on the old iPad. I'll start working on Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks if you guys want to watch that Monday through Friday over on the old Odd Shopper channel. So just trying to get you guys the right bets at the right time.
There we go. We're back to the normal stuff. I know we're mixing some things up this week. Schedules are going to look a little bit different. Shows are going to look a little bit different just because football is essentially done now. So that's going to get randomized a tad. I'm happy that I'm so exposed to, not that everybody else isn't exposed to Denver as well, but I'm happy that that's the first game and we could just sort of get an idea of where we stand right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, it'll be a really short night of watching NBA basketball if that goes poorly.
Oh, per Jordan, PGA Live before lock is on Tuesday because lock is Wednesday. What do we got coming on this week for golf?
Yeah, so tomorrow, so it's the Farmers Insurance. We're going to Torrey Pines North-South course, so excited for this one. Awesome field per usual. Going to be enjoyable to break that one down. I'm doing a PGA VOD. Can't really publicize it out to the people right now because my Twitter is still incognito for me, but looking forward to getting that back one day. In the meantime, tomorrow, I have a course breakdown that I started a little bit today. I'm going to record that and have everything ready to go. I'm going to be sharing my notes. I'm going to do some stuff in Cruncher for everybody who wants to make 150 lineups. And then I'm also going to hand build out a lineup over on DK. I'm going to be doing that PGA VOD throughout the PGA season. So looking forward to it.
Thanks a lot for that one, Elon. Just ruined you.
Nuke. Metaphors. They're a thing, buddy.
3 minutes to go. All right. So my biggest fades: Bones Highland, KCP, LeBron, SGA. Nothing you could do there. Like there's Kyrie, Dame, SGA, Ja Morant. Like you're not going to get to somebody in that group. Evidently, it's SGA for me. It is also Morant, but to a lesser extent. If we have Jock Landale at 20%, and that is right, I got him at 4, so I don't have him. I don't really have Giddey, Damian Lee. I'm light on Ben Simmons, light on Ja Morant, light on Steph Curry. So I had a 5th. I mean, how loaded is guard?
It's absurd. I will say I got to the Giddey SGA side a little bit more than you did. I just kind of manually made sure that I got to some other pieces on the other side, just hoping that game stays competitive. You get the main core guys just go completely nuts. That would be awesome for the game environment. Looking forward to it. KCP, he ended up a little bit more popular than I was hoping for because I was going to be over on it no matter what, but doesn't seem like that's going to be the case anymore. Bones Highland, I'm with you. I'm going to be undercutting that one. Klay Thompson, a big stand, having that small forward eligibility. Talked about that. Makes a lot of sense here. I'm also north on Ben Simmons, which I didn't expect to happen in the final run, but there we go.
It's been a fun one, man. So I assume you and I are just going to be like the Sunday night combo moving forward?
I think so. We'll get some more people trailing in. Let the people know that, Sunday hangouts are in session. And when we're the only show in town when NFL leaves, we're going to have, a good month and a half before baseball starts. So we'll keep you guys apprised. Yeah.
Simons or Bruce Brown on FanDuel, last man in Bruce Brown, I guess.
Bruce Brown for sure. What in the world, Sunflower? What a weird thing to say. It's just a lot of text. Can't believe I read that. It's a weird thing.
This one was fun, man. This one was really cool. What's the score of that Cowboys game? I don't actually have an idea.
There was a pick that just got thrown. I saw that. Dak Prescott threw a pick down in the red zone. Now, still 6-6. Maher got an extra point blocked. I was going to say, all I was looking for the last 2 minutes was if he missed the extra point or not. And sounds like a block, not his fault.
Well, I think that we're probably done here.
We are.
Ooh, one thing that I wanted to look at quickly. Can I get there in time before lock? Because I mentioned it before that you should take this chance. Did it work out for you guys? 55% filled. That is what the No House Advantage contest is right now. 670 entries of the 1,200. If you guys didn't listen to me, you're asleep at the wheel. There's 5K up top here, and it would have taken basically no effort to take the optimal lineups that we have already generated for you and get in that contest. If you didn't do that, you missed out on the best possible contest on today's slate. Trust us, guys. Trust us.
Help us help you.
Evidently, Adam got to 55% Mike Muscala.
Well, I liked him. I liked him a lot, and got it 3 of 15. So, 20%. That's a lot of Mike Muscala.
Sure is. I get it, but sure is.
Go Chuck, young man.
We'll let him sweat that on his own. You and I are going to get out of here, as is Jordan Klein. Thank you, everybody, for being here for this Sunday Night Live before lock. Thank you to No House Advantage for sponsoring this show. We're back to normal, another work week, starting it off. So I will be here 6:30 a.m. bright and early tomorrow. Good luck to everybody for tonight's slate. Let's hope we don't get any weird stuff. We will talk to you later, though. So peace.